The Galactic Council had gathered in the Grand Hall of the Citadel, a vast, ringed station orbiting a blue giant star. Representatives of over 100 species sat in tiered rows, each draped in the symbols of their civilizations. At the center of the chamber, the holographic display of the Terran fleet flickered, almost pitiful in size. The humans had sent only 3 ships. Loud chittering erupted from the insectoid Kreth ambassador, its mandibles clicking with amusement. "Are these the mighty defenders of Earth?" it hissed. 3 tiny hulls, barely larger than our cargo freighters. Did humans think this was a game of diplomacy? Other species joined in the laughter, rumbling from the elephantine Drogon, the sharp, metallic tones of the Veiler, and even the deep, guttural roars of the reptilian Hussar. To them, humanity was a joke. A young species, barely 2 centuries into faster-than-light travel, still clinging to crude alloy warships. Against the ancient fleets of the galaxy, humans were nothing. But Admiral Kira Vaughn stood motionless, her expression unreadable on the central communication feed. "You find humor in weakness," she said quietly. "That's your first mistake." The laughter grew louder. The council saw her calm tone as the last gasp of a doomed species. After all, no one survived a Kreth war declaration except those who submitted. The ultimatum. Hours earlier, the Kreth had issued humanity an ultimatum: surrender Earth's orbital space and submit to their protection, or face annihilation. The council had gathered to witness the human reply, expecting either cowardice or destruction. The human response had been simple: "We will fight." "Fight?" roared Tlix, the Kreth warlord, leaning over the conference table. His mandibles clicked like blades. "With what? Those 3 toys you brought here." "They're not toys," Admiral Vaughn said, her voice as cold as the void. "You just don't know how to see them." The hidden power. As the council continued mocking humanity, space beyond the Citadel rippled. A distortion formed, like a heat mirage stretching across the stars. The laughter fell silent as sensors went wild. Several alien ships scrambled to recalibrate their optics, their systems detecting nothing. "What is this?" demanded the Veiler envoy, their mechanical voice cracking with alarm. Then, as though reality itself peeled away, something massive began to emerge. A shadow, darker than the void, shifted into view. The silhouette of a warship, sleek, angular, and utterly alien, materialized, as if stepping out of another dimension. It was enormous, larger than any Kreth battleship. No, larger than any ship the Council had ever seen. The Terran warship Aegis had arrived. The shock. "This is impossible," whispered the SAR commander, his scaled claws tapping against the table. "Your species can't build something like this." "It wasn't built," Vaughn said, her tone flat. "It was designed for war, for survival. Every piece of this ship is hidden from your scanners. While you laughed, we prepared." The Aegis's hull shimmered with adaptive stealth plating, shifting like liquid shadow. Its silhouette pulsed with faint blue light, the result of its gravitic engines bending spacetime itself. No one in the council chamber had ever seen technology this advanced, not even the vaunted Veiler, who prided themselves on their millennia-old fleets. The Drogon representative grunted. "That ship? How did you keep it hidden?" Vaughn smiled faintly. "Who said this is our only one?" The first strike. Before anyone could respond, the Kreth fleet, hovering in formation nearby, launched a barrage of plasma lances at the Aegis. The warship didn't move. The energy projectiles simply bent around it, as if striking an invisible shield. "Deflecting plasma?" gasped Tlix. "That's..." The Aegis fired. One shot, a single beam of coherent light, invisible to most sensors, lanced through the void. A Kreth cruiser disintegrated instantly, vanishing into a cloud of ionized particles. The chamber fell silent. "The revelation. 200 years ago," Vaughn began, "you told us we were weak, that humanity would never survive outside its own system. And yet here we are. We learned from watching you, your wars, your mistakes, your arrogance. We built ships not for show, but for the moment you decided we didn't belong. The Aegis turned slightly, its weapons array humming like the breath of some sleeping titan. You laughed at us because we kept quiet, Vaughn continued. But silence isn't weakness. Silence is waiting for the right moment. The turning point. Flix, still stunned, tried to regain control of the room. This is one ship. We have hundreds. You cannot hope to. The Admiral cut him off. Hundreds of what? Ships that can't even detect us? We've had dozens of Aegis-class warships in your space for weeks. Your fleets are already compromised. If we wanted war, it would have started before you even knew we were here. A data feed streamed onto the Council's main display. Images of human stealth ships surrounding the Kreth stronghold, their silhouettes shimmering into partial view. It was a silent threat, and every species watching understood its meaning. A new order. The council chamber was no longer filled with laughter. Instead, there was fear and respect. What do you want? The Veiler asked, their tone subdued. Nothing more than what we've always wanted, Vaughn said. To be left alone. We don't seek to rule. We don't seek to conquer. But if you push us... She glanced toward the Aegis, its weapons still charged. You will lose. Flix sat back, his mandibles trembling. We will withdraw. One by one, the other alien ambassadors nodded in agreement. The Kreth, once so proud, now looked at humanity with something they had never felt before, terror. The shadows remain. As the council session ended, the Aegis slowly vanished, its stealth systems cloaking it once more.